Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, earlier this week, we brought you a Phillips H. Lord's program called Counter Spy. Now we're going to present a program that basically was the kickoff to all of Phillips H. Lord's big shows, an episode of Gangbusters going back 77 years to September 13th, 1945, and this is the case of Harry Red Bever, and we thank you for tuning in. On this Sure Happy It's Thursday, 15th day of September, 258th day of the year, 107 days remaining. Charles Darwin and the HMS Beagle reached the Galapagos Islands on this date in 1835. The Nuremberg Laws on this date in 1935 deprived Jews of their citizenship and made the swastika the official emblem of Nazi Germany. Lone Ranger premiered on television on this date in 1949. Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels became inextricably linked to the roles of the Lone Ranger and Tonto. 221 episodes filmed, all available on DVD. A church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama on this date in 1963 killed 4 young black girls. National Hockey League lockout began on this date in 2004.
I stand here today to say that we owe it to hockey's fans to achieve an economic system that will result in affordable ticket prices and stable, competitive franchises. The very future of our game is at stake, and the NHL's owners are united as never before, determined to do everything humanly possible to bring hockey's economic system into the 21st century. We have no other choice.
National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman, the third of 4 strikes or lockouts, whatever you want to call them, they essentially accomplished the same thing. The 2004-2005 season ultimately canceled. After the one that would follow this, hockey never recovered and is to these days considered a tertiary professional sport. In 2008, Lehman Brothers filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the largest bankruptcy filing in U.S. history. Among those passing away on this date in history, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, Abraham Clark, German aircraft designer Willy Messerschmitt, jazz pianist Bill Evans, Johnny Ramone of the Ramones, Brett Summers, you know her all over talk shows. She was an actress, but she was mostly on the Match Game. I think she was on almost every episode of the old Match Game. Sven Gulli, Jerry G. Bishop passing away on this date in history. Harry Dean Stanton passing away, and the Cars' Rick Ocasek passing away on this date. This is the birth date of author and monologist Robert Benchley.
I am confident that we may safely say at the present time that the Depression is over and that better business conditions are just around the corner. And when I say just around the corner, I mean just around the corner. Now, what were the primary causes of the Depression, as we called it? Overproduction, maladjustments in gold distribution, overproduction, deflation, too little thyroid secretion, or Platt's disease, too much vermouth, overproduction, and by the same token, underproduction. Then, too, there was the Gulf Stream.
A funny man, you know, he wasn't great in delivery there, but he was funny and did do quite the monologue. Robert Benchley, born on this date in history. Writer Agatha Christie, musician Roy Acuff, actress Fay Wray, Penny Singleton, Blondie.
You ought to do something about him, Blondie. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Are you going to do something about him?
Of course, dear. I saw Laura today.
Well, that's more like it. Who's Laura?
Laura Franey.
Oh, Chester's sister.
She says Chester's in charge of the Western Division now.
That's what he says.
What makes you dislike Chester so much?
I'm not jealous, if that's what you mean.
Oh, I didn't say anything about you being jealous.
Jealous? That's silly. He annoys me. Hasn't brains enough to dot an I.
Now, Dagwood, I think that's unfair. He has been made general manager.
What's that got to do with it? After all, you married me. Gee, he's lucky.
How did you mean that?
I mean being made general manager.
With Arthur Lake as Dagwood, Penny Singleton, born on this date in history. Attorney General John M. Mitchell, born on this date in history, a convicted Watergate criminal. Actor Jackie Cooper, born on this date. Cannonball Adderley, Mercy, 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 great musician. Merlin Olsen, Wendy Jo Sperber, and Nipsey Russell.
Hurricanes are named after women because they work on the very same plan, start up over nothing, make a whole lot of noise, and can't be controlled by man.
That's it. Nipsey Russell is a male chauvinist pig.
And that's what we want, is recognition.
From an episode of Match Game, in fact. Brett Summers, we mentioned earlier, passed away on this date back in 2007. Nipsey Russell, born on this date in history, he passed away in 2005. A lady whom we know a lot from our radio performances and is still with us today, Peggy Weber, 97 years old. Actor Tommy Lee Jones and director Oliver Stones, both 76. Holla Holla Playa Playa, if you know what I'm talking about. That's the pro wrestling manager Teddy Long, 75. Bane in the Dark Knight, Tom Hardy is 45. And Prince Harry of Wales is 38. Those some of the people celebrating the 15th day of September as their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
From 77 years ago, September 15th, 1945, The Case of Harry Red Beaver, an episode of Gangbusters here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly healthcare costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medishare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Gangbusters. This episode from 77 years ago, September 15th, 1945.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, Waterman's Pens and Waterman's Ink present Gangbusters. The foxholes of Europe, from the steaming jungle swamps of the Pacific, our men are now coming home to a new America. A wave of crime has followed every war, and we must not allow lawbreakers to tear down here at home the very ideals that our men have fought to preserve. Tonight, Gangbusters presents the authentic inside facts concerning a killer who felt he was even too tough for the Army. And so Louis J. Valentine, who has just resigned as commissioner of the largest police department in the world, takes over to interview by proxy Chief A.S. Harper, Chief of Police of Amarillo, Texas. Commissioner Valentine.
Chief Harper, I believe that one of the surest ways to combat crime is to expose it. Now we would like to have you rip this case wide open tonight.
Well, Commissioner Valentine, I'd like to start back in October 1942 at 10:30 in the evening. A small-time gangster, Doc Rickett, was sitting with his girlfriend in a fashionable Cincinnati nightclub.
You're a snappy-looking number tonight, Cora.
You like this dress, huh?
Yeah, it fits you like a glove. You're the... Hey, what are you staring at?
Huh?
What are you staring at?
The big red-headed man over there. Any objections?
Bloody, you're my girlfriend.
The redhead doesn't think so. He's smiling.
All right, Hey, don't pay any attention to him, Cora.
Why not?
That's Red Beaver.
Red Beaver?
He's dynamite. The FBI and Secret Service have sent out coast-to-coast alarms. Beaver's a deserter from the Army. He's the quickest trigger man I know of. He only pulls the biggest jobs there are.
Thanks, Rickett. I thought he was interesting. Now I'm sure.
Now you've done it. He's coming over. You cross him and you get a bullet through your head.
And you thought you were a big shot. I bet there are a million girls who wish they were in my place right now. He's sharp.
Hello, pretty legs. How about a little dance? Lay off, Beaver. She's my girl. So you know who I am, I reckon? Sure. I spotted your red hair. I'm no Sunday school teacher myself. I blow around. How'd you know my name? When I spotted good-looking here, I asked a few questions about who she was with. What's your take, sugar?
Cora Weston.
You've got what it takes, Cora. Move over. I'll sit down. I told you, Beaver. Cora's my girl. Sure, I had you. You know, Rickett, I think I could use you. Maybe put you up in a big dough. Yeah? Yeah, I could use a smart guy right now in my business. What kind of business, Beaver? The entertainment business. Yeah? Sure, I like to entertain. Let's see, we'll start with a little Halloween party.
A Halloween party? Where?
In the Avondale branch of the Second National Bank. Oh, I get it. Uh-huh. Halloween. You know, sweep the bank clean with the witch's broom. Suppose you take a walk for a couple of minutes, Rickett. I want a little board of directors meeting here with Cora. Well, Scram. Okay, I'll get a drink at the bar, and then I'll be back. Smooth, honey. You're plenty smooth.
You're kind of sugar-coated yourself, Beaver.
Believe in holidays, Cora?
I guess so. Why?
Today's Columbus Day. Remember, Columbus discovered America and moved in.
So
I'm taking a tip from him. I just discovered you, so I'm going to do like him. Move in. This ain't bad, Cora. Sit in your apartment. You playing to me.
Want me to fix you a cocktail, Beaver?
After 2 weeks, you have to ask me.
I'll answer.
Oh, no, I'll do the answering. Hello?
Oh, is that you, Beaver?
Sure, it's me.
Well, I haven't got anything to do. Suppose I drop up, huh?
No. Cora's my girlfriend now, Rickett. Oh, get your surprise package?
Yeah. But a clown suit and a cowboy suit. What's the gag?
Tomorrow's Halloween. You dress up fancy on Halloween, don't you? You ought to wear the clown suit, see? Good gag, huh?
Oh.
Besides, the clientele at the bank will have a tough time describing a clown and a cowboy.
I get it.
Work with me a while, Rickett, and you'll learn things.
Attention, all police. Avondale branch of the Second National Bank just robbed of $7,000 by two men in Halloween costumes. One dressed as a cowboy, one as a clown. Approach with caution. These men are heavily armed. That's all.
Well, Agent Hurley, we put that warning on every teletype through the state.
We at the FBI appreciate your cooperation, Captain Morse.
The bandit's stunt of dressing in Halloween costumes was a touch of genius. Nobody can seem to identify them. But I've always noticed that when a man gets money easily, he spends it easily. So, as just one possible trap, I sent out an alert to nightclubs, bars, racetracks, and pool rooms to watch for men who seem to be spending money too freely.
Good. Perfect. I never guessed they're spending a little too much money is what we're waiting for.
Like this nightclub, Cora?
We've sure been covering them all, haven't we, Red?
That's me, Cora. Everything in a big way.
Yeah, but Red, you've been cracking so many banks. Every day, headlines in the papers.
Ricketts so scared he doesn't even dare leave our hideout.
He's pretty jealous, you know, Red. You taking me away from him.
You leave Rickett to me. Baby, I've got the biggest job yet lined up. 100,000.
Yeah? When?
Christmas. At Christmas time, everybody gets presents. I figure maybe the Charleston Trust will want to give us a present.
Why do you always pick a holiday, Red?
Holidays are made for guys like me. On holidays, the suckers stuff up with turkey and guzzle booze, right? They get slow and careless.
Gee, I never thought of that.
Booze makes them slip up. They're not themselves. Waiter.
Yes, sir.
Waiter, bring another bottle of that champagne over here. Huh?
Coming up, sir.
You're spending your money awful fast tonight, Red.
That's the way I make it, isn't it? Banks have lots of money, you know.
Yeah, but you've been drinking a lot. You said tonight. When a man was drinking, he wasn't himself.
That's for other guys, not me. You couldn't tell by the way I talk I've had a drink.
Here you are, sir. A bottle of champagne.
You know, someday I'm going to take a bath in that stuff.
I wouldn't do that, sir. The bubbles tickle.
Quick on the trigger, ain't he? Pour it.
Certainly, sir. Anything else, sir?
No. Here. Buy yourself a house for Christmas. Here, take it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You blown your top, Beaver. Giving that guy a century for a tip?
Shut up and drink your champagne. Dames will crab all the time, get on my nerves.
You couldn't just slip the way to the 100. Oh, no, not you. You had to make a production of it.
I said shut up.
First thing you know, you...
Now, you button that loose lip of yours or I'll slap you again.
Now you've done it, you fool. That army sergeant saw you slap me.
Oh, yeah? I eat army sergeants on toast. Oh, he's going to use that for an excuse to come over and meet you, huh? Going to chisel in like I did to get you away from Rickett.
What's the matter? Something wrong?
What's it to you?
Can I do anything for you, miss?
No. No. Everything's all right.
Hey. What was you figuring on doing, chum, if it hadn't been all right?
Ah, take it easy, buddy. You've been celebrating a little too much.
I suppose because you're in the Army, you figure maybe I'm easy pickings, huh?
Now, look, I don't want any trouble as long as the young lady says she's all right. Okay, I'm leaving.
Oh, so you were going to pull that Prince Charming stuff, huh?
Put that gun away.
This time, Sergeant, you ran into a tough customer.
Oh, if you're so tough, why don't you join the Army? We need some good fighters.
Oh, the Army, huh? I don't see you being so brave. And besides, I don't like the looks of an Army uniform.
Follow me. We gotta get out of here.
Hey, how long are we gonna stay holed up here in Cora's flat, Beaver?
As long as I say so, Rickett. Stop playing that piano, Cora.
Sit down, Beaver. You're driving us nuts with that walk.
Shut up. If it wasn't for your nagging, this wouldn't have happened.
Can you beat that? Red gets a snootful, blows his top, shoots an army sergeant, then tries to pin the rap on me.
You hadn't ought to be so quick with that rod, Beaver.
You gonna start telling me how to operate?
No, it ain't
Killing comes pretty easy to me, Rickett. I'd remember that if I were you. The same goes for you, Cora.
And what's that?
It ain't a woodpecker. See what it is, Cora.
Open up in there.
Cops. Stall them. Give us a chance to get out the back window onto the fire escape. If it's the cops, I'll blast them from there.
Open up or we'll break in the door.
Take your time, boys. Take your time. Okay. What you selling?
I'm Captain Morris of the Cincinnati Detectives. Mr. Hurley's a federal agent.
So what?
We're looking for a man who was seen coming into this building.
Why pick on me? Every man who comes in this building don't come up here. Unfortunately.
Cut the comedy. We know he's here. Step aside.
Hold it, copper. I'm old-fashioned. I don't let strange men into my apartment unless they've got search warrants.
Really?
Yeah. And that goes double for coppers.
Well, by an odd coincidence, I happen to have a search warrant. Right here.
Well, if you must come in...
What was that? Come on.
From September 15th, 1945, Gangbusters on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The news from 77 years ago today follows these important messages.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Now you can order one of the most advanced hearing aids on the market for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Hearing Assist's most advanced product lineup includes models that use an exclusive app for enhanced control over what you want to hear. It's perfect if you have a smartphone or iPhone to hear everything better. And we have two great ways for you to get one. You can call the number at the end of this ad and order directly. Or you can call this same number and we will text you a complete list of Walmart Vision Center locations. We make it easy for you to hear better. Remember, call this number today to order and have a text message instantly sent to your phone to find the Walmart Vision Center near you. Here's that special number.
Call 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. That's 800-360-0597.
Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We're listening to an episode of Gangbusters, as it was originally broadcast on Saturday, September 15th, 1945. In the newspapers of that Saturday, 77 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Production of the Ford Motor Company's new 1946 models halted completely last night by a labor dispute, and still another work stoppage appeared forthcoming, which would interrupt production in the huge General Motors factories throughout the country. All of the Ford plants in the nation were shut down, 50,000 workers sent home. Henry Ford, the second head of the company, said the action was necessary because of the 28-day strike at the Kelsey Hayes Wheel Company, supplier of brakes, drums, and wheels. General Motors, meantime, faced the threat of a complete shutdown strike and labor boycott in a test of the United Auto Workers campaign to win pay increases. The UAW Executive Board said it was ready to apply its secret weapon, a system-wide strike of a single company, to enforce its demand for the 30-cent per hour wage hike in pay through the automobile industry. Congress picked its Pearl Harbor investigators yesterday. House Republicans set out to pick up votes, and congressmen tackled such subjects as surplus merchant ships, government reorganization, the Navy's size, and farm prices. The inquiry into what happened at Pearl Harbor and why won't start for a while. The investigating committee meets Tuesday to make plans. The War Department yesterday reduced the discharge point score and age requirements of Army medical personnel in a move to restore 13,000 doctors, 25,000 nurses, and 3,500 dentists to civilian life by the end of this year. Many other Army medical officers will also be affected. The Army said that by next July, when the size of the Army will have shrunk to 2.5 million men, it expects to release 30,000 doctors, 10,000 nurses, dentists, and more than 40,000 nurses. This would represent a 70% cut in the peak of Medical Corps strength of VE Day. Another Japanese war criminal suspect, Lieutenant General Masaharu Homa, held responsible by General MacArthur for the death march of Bataan, appeared in Tokyo to announce he would surrender. Another on MacArthur's list, Kunihiko Kashida, who was Tojo's education minister, committed suicide by taking poison when Japanese police called at his home yesterday to take him into custody. Homa, the former conqueror of the Philippines, who so arrogantly dictated surrender terms to General Wainwright after the fall of Corregidor, told Associated Press correspondent Al Cupping at a Tokyo rail station upon his arrival, "I am ready to take my responsibility for any act of my subordinates in the Philippines." General Omar N. Bradley said yesterday the Veterans Administration will be decentralized and reorganized to cope with its increased load. Under the protected revamping of the huge agency, an executive assistant to General Bradley, the administrator, will act as his chief of staff to coordinate the entire setup. 2.5-year-old William Buddy Schwalm of Pottsville, Pennsylvania, went to bed early last night, tired from his climb of a 1,300-foot mountain clad only in baby shoes, diaper, and shirt. Buddy was nursing scratches and insect bites, but needed no medical attention. The lad disappeared from his nearby Valley View home Thursday afternoon with his dog Spotty, following a log road about 4.5 miles to the top of a wooded mountain. There, a motorist, Harry T. Schroeder, found him more than 5 hours later. And those some of the day's top news stories, as reported in the newspapers of Saturday, September 15th, 1945, on your radio Gangbusters. We'll hear more now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Come back from that fire escape into the room again, with your arms up. We guessed if we came in the door, you gentlemen might go out the window, so I had a few of my men out there.
Smart guy, huh?
I know one of them, Captain Morris, Rickett. Ricketts an old-time gangster. The redhead's a new one.
I'm just an innocent bystander.
The redhead is the one who shot the army sergeant.
You got nothing on me, Copper.
No? We had all of the nightclubs tipped off to report men who were spending money too freely. The waiter who waited on your table called us up. We examined the $100 bill you gave him as a tip.
I want to see my lawyer.
I don't blame you, Red. Suppose we go down to headquarters for a talk.
And, if I say no?
Well, if you should say no, I'll tell you. You'd come along a good deal like this.
Let go of me, Copper. Let go. Come on, let go of me, will you?
So Red Beaver started moving fast, Chief Hopper.
Yes, Commissioner. Red Beaver didn't know what had struck him till he was safe behind bars. But the crime history of Red Beaver had not yet reached its peak.
Tonight marks the first broadcast in this L.E. Waterman Company presentation of Gangbusters. And we're proud to have been able to select as chief investigator and commentator for these programs a man who has been a police officer for almost half a century and who last midnight resigned after 11 years as police commissioner of the New York City Police Department. Louis J. Valentine, as head of the largest police force in the world, has made contacts with and influenced police procedure on a nationwide scale. Federal, state, and local police departments throughout the country know and respect Commissioner Valentine as being in the forefront of our constant war against crime. Gangbusters and the L.E. Waterman Company are proud that Commissioner Louis J. Valentine will act as chief investigator on these factual cases.
As heard on the American Broadcasting Company at 9 p.m. on September 15th, 1945, Gangbusters. We'll hear the conclusion next on this Thursday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Whether you're taking your pets on the road or a walk around the block, you need to be aware of heat stroke. Hi, I am Dr. Jose Arce, immediate past president of the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's important that pets get out and enjoy the warm weather and fresh air, but here are some reminders to help keep your pets safe in the heat. Tune into the day's forecast to see how hot it will be. Limit exercise on hot days or schedule walks earlier or later on the day when it's cooler. If outside, stay on the grass instead of the hot pavement. Make sure your pet has unlimited fresh water and access to shade. Never leave your pet in a closed vehicle, and leave your pet at home in air conditioning when you go out. If you see signs of heat strokes in your pet, such as excessive panting, drooling, unsteadiness, or abnormal gum and tongue color, call your veterinarian or nearest emergency clinic. For more info on summer pet safety, visit avma.org. That's avma.org.
On Thursday's Classic Radio Theater, we'll head out to Wild West, Wyoming for an episode of Fort Laramie starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince in an episode from 66 years ago, September 16th, 1956. The paymaster is 4 months late coming to Fort Laramie, but watch out when he finally shows up. And Norman MacDonald, the producer and director of the show, tells a brief history at the end of the real Fort Laramie on the 67th anniversary of the fort's closing. And there is still a Fort Laramie town in Goshen County, Wyoming, in case you didn't know that. Now the conclusion of Gangbusters, September 15th, 1945, 77 years ago today.
And now, Commissioner Valentine, back to the case of Red Beaver.
Chief Harper, Red Beaver was in the Cincinnati prison.
Yes, Commissioner Valentine. And it was 16 minutes before 9 on the evening of February 12th. Red Beaver lay sprawled in his bunk, watching water pouring from his wash basin to the cell floor. Finally, he walked over to the bars separating him from Doc Ricketts' cell.
Hi, Ricky. Where's all the water coming from, Beaver? I told you we'd break out of this joint. But if it's all the same to you, I'd rather walk out than swim out. Know what day today is, Ricky? Sure. February 12th, so what? February 12th. Lincoln's birthday. What do you want we should do? Eat birthday cake? Yeah. You never heard what Lincoln did? He got himself shot. Is that what you're aiming for us to get? Yeah, but before he did, he freed the slaves. So? Today's Lincoln's birthday, so we'll do like him. We'll free the slaves. Us included. Just like that, huh? How? Plug up your basin and let the water run on the floor. Why? Yours is running plenty. You're going to start raising fish in there? Do like I say. Okay. Good. Now we'll wait a minute, and we call a guard. Then what? We yell for a dry cell. While we're switching, we hit him over the head and make a break. How's the water coming? You could launch a ship in here now. Okay. Rattle a cup.
Guard! Help! We're being flooded! Get us out! Guard! Get us out of this place! We're being flooded!
Attention, Cincinnati police. Escaping prisoners Red Beaver and Doc Rickett have just held up the Second National Bank and are escaping. Green, 1940 Chrysler sedan. License number 293-348. That is all.
To Kansas City Police. Believe killer Red Beaver and pal Rickett are driving toward Kansas City. These men are heavily armed. Suggest roadblock.
I can't stand this strain much longer, Beaver. I'm cranking. Don't worry. We'll be all right here in Kansas City. The whole country's looking for us. I always do things in a big way, Rickett. But I tell you, Kansas City's safe. I got it all figured out.
Roadblock up ahead.
Why, those rotten coppers.
Coppers all over the place.
I'll run over them. I'll kill them. Hold on. Come on.
all, Lynn. All this what's going on for days. This cop shooting at us.
Kansas City, FBI, Washington. Doc Rickett, companion of Red Beaver, was found hiding in cellar in Kansas City. Rickett is now under arrest. Red Beaver escaped and is believed hiding in one of the southern states.
Hello?
Hello, Edward?
Oh. Oh, yeah, sure. This is Edwards. That you, Helen?
Sure.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me sit down, huh?
You tired?
I'm just not used to this Texas weather yet.
How do you like it here in Amarillo?
Well, that depends upon how well you like me, baby.
But I haven't seen you very often.
I'll see you tonight.
All right.
Sure, we'll go to a club. Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Hold it. Can you beat that? Huh?
What's the matter?
Two women out in the street. They bump cars.
Are they mad?
Uh-oh. Look, the little one's shoving the big one around. No, the big one, she won't take it. Wow.
What happened?
The little one gives the big one a slap. Uh-oh, the cop's seen him. Hey, this is a grandstand seat. Hey, they're looking up here at the window. They can see me laughing at them.
Say, you're as good as a radio fight announcer.
The cop's walking across the sidewalk toward my window here. Hey, this is a laugh.
Why?
If you only knew, sister.
Hey, mister, you saw these two women bump cars, didn't you?
Sure, I seen them, officer. I was looking right out the window here.
Which one was at fault?
No, you don't. You don't get me between two dames, especially those dames. If one of them was cute, it might be different.
Hello?
Wait a minute, baby. I'm talking to the cop here.
Well, I guess I have to take him up to the station house. Will you come up with me and tell what you saw?
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going... Okay. Okay, sure, I'll go with you.
I'd be much obliged if you would.
Sure, I will. Hello, sugar. I'll call you back later.
All right, Edward.
I gotta go see justice done. Well, copper, lead the way. I'll put on my hat and be right with you.
This is the gentleman I was telling you about, Captain Kirkman. He was sitting in the window and saw the two women bump fenders.
Oh, I appreciate your coming up to the station, huh?
That's all right.
What's your name?
Jack Edwards.
Oh, I'm Captain Kirkman, and this is Captain King. I'm glad to meet you. Oh, sit down, Mr. Edwards.
You got a pretty good police station here at Amarillo, haven't you?
Oh, it serves its purpose. You a stranger in Amarillo?
I've been here a couple of months. You want me to tell you about those two women bumping cars, huh?
Yes, but you don't happen to know a man by the name of Red Beaver, do you?
Who?
Red Beaver. He's an escaped convict and a killer.
No, I never heard of him. What do you ask me?
I was just wondering, Red, that's all.
Call me Red. My name ain't Red. It's Jack Edwards.
Oh, I see. Here. There's a wanted circular for Red Beaver for desertion from the Army and killing an Army sergeant.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Detectives standing back to you all have their guns out, Red.
No, I didn't kill nobody. It wasn't me. I didn't kill him. What a sucker I am.
Yes, you are. All police officers have been on the lookout for you.
Think of me ending up here. With them two dames to bump their cars, I could bump them off.
Didn't figure it might be a little plant to get you up here without any shooting.
And I thought I was smart. Me, Red Beaver, being took in by this one-horse joint. I didn't kill that guy, though.
We'll leave that to the United States Army, Beaver. They're asking for you.
No, look, I'll do anything. I'll tell you anything you want to know, but don't let the Army get a hold of me. Don't let the Army get a hold of me, please.
Details. Up. Harry Red Beaver, as convicted by a court-martial at Fort Sill, you will, on this morning of September 26, 1944, be hanged by the neck until dead. Harry Beaver, have you anything to say?
No, I guess I ain't got nothing.
May God rest your soul. And Commissioner Valentine, at 6:37 a.m., 20 minutes later,
Harry Red Beaver was dead, executed by the United States Army.
Chief Hopper, this has been a terrific case tonight. One I doubt that we will ever forget. I wish that every person in this country might have heard it.
Yes, Commissioner Valentine. To Red Beaver, the men in the uniform of their country were suckers. He knew better. He knew how to get easy money. But it didn't turn out that way. And it never does.
Now, Gangbusters Nationwide Clues. Chief R.F. Worsner, Dayton, Ohio Police Department, announces a reward of $8,500 is being offered for return of 2.5-year-old baby Ronald Thompson and conviction of his kidnapper. Here is description given Gangbusters by Dayton police of alleged kidnapper.
Woman known as Mary Wilkie, 40 to 45 years old, 5 feet 6 inches, about 150 pounds, ruddy complexion, reddish brown hair, believed hennaed, brushed back and up, speaks with slight accent, possibly southern or eastern, pleasing personality. Renew vigilance for this woman. Reward now offered by Dayton, Ohio Police, $8,500.
From Denver, Colorado Police, urgent bulletin concerning suspect wanted for questioning in connection with murder of J.A. Richardson, that city. Suspect described as follows.
Andrew Cyphus, alias Jack Wood, alias William Hammond, 36, 5 feet 6 inches, about 150 pounds, dark hair, brown eyes. When last seen, according to police, wore khaki shirt or jacket with blood stain on right shoulder and sleeve, where he supposedly was shot in struggle with victim. Suspect believed to have left scene of crime in company of woman in green Pontiac sedan, bearing Los Angeles license ending in numerals 80. Watch for Andrew Cyphus, wanted for questioning, murder, Denver Police Department.
If you have any information concerning these clues, notify your local police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or Gangbusters at once. Now, here is Commissioner Valentine.
Next week, Gangbusters will present the case of the red evening dress. It's about a girl and her love for a killer.
Remember, next week, same time, same station, one of the most unusual cases Gangbusters has ever presented. In the meantime, when you are buying a fountain pen or when you're buying ink, just look for the name Waterman's. Gangbusters Factual Case Histories is a Phillips H. Lord production.
From 77 years ago, September 15th, 1945, Gangbusters on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there as well. You can buy me a copy to help us build our... In fact, we just got some more shows coming up. We got a hold, finally, of Orson Welles' The Black Museum. And I'm working on those. We also, as I said, got a lot more interesting shows coming up, so stay tuned here. But if you want to help us acquire shows from Classic Radio Collectors, buy me a copy at classicradio.stream. You can also find our social media links there so you can stay up to date with what's going on. That's at classicradio.stream. Thank this station, support the advertisers, tell your friends. The great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.